Alright, we got no blunt this time, but I'm getting the bowl prepared, and we're about to start. Who the hell are you with Dustin Cernoch? This is, I believe, going to be episode... I'm just going to ask you a question. Is this 3 or 4?
I believe this is 4.
Alright, I'm high as shit already. Alright, but yeah, this will be episode 4, and, so we've been following, we had Panky, Philip, and then Andrew, and, that Andrew one, if you listened to that one last, that was a fun time. And let me get something out there, something that we talked about. Like I said, to the Florida Forgive Me band, if y'all, I want to talk to you guys, please come on. And if anyone listening knows them, let them know. Damn. And it's a friendly debate is what I want to have. I want us to leave on good terms, but I do want to have a debate because y'all do things that I don't agree with, and I might do things y'all don't agree with, and I want to talk about that. I think it'll make good conversation. And, I really liked having that talk with Andrew. Like we said, we never get to see each other anymore, and he's a dad now. And me and him went through a lot of shit, like we said, there was times where we both hated each other and stuff, but after that conversation, just like all these conversations, I feel closer to these people, and I'm really excited that I'm an uncle to his beautiful daughter. I'm excited that he was so excited to be on my podcast, and the way he talked, the episodes, if you go and listen to the Panky Phil, they don't go like that. They usually don't ramble on as much as him, and not that he really rambled, like it's a bad thing or anything. It was perfect to me. It's perfect conversation. So if you haven't listened to that, I really recommend doing it because you'll get some good advice from someone who's been through some shit, and someone who's a lot younger than me, but is just an amazing person and more of an adult than might ever be. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my next person I'm bringing in. Someone I've known even longer than Andrew, the person who introduced me to Andrew. Whenever you have a friendship with someone that's going on, 15, 16 years, you truly feel like you know them, but there still might be some things that you don't know. And so I have to have him on. And we always talk about, the things with the Pine Box here in Midland, local scenes in general. And he's a person who's a big part of that, so that'll be a good time. So without anything else to say, my best friend in the world, Philip McDaniel.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Glad to be here.
Dude, I'm super stoked that you're here.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be on.
Yeah, we're not doing it in the man cave this episode. We're doing it at his house, but I mean, it's just as warming as the man cave here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and start off with the regular question. Who the hell are you?
Well, my name's Phil, and plan on being a game designer and whatnot. I just, trying to live my life and be positive, live positive and stuff, because been some times where things weren't so good, and, live through it, think about your past and move on, things like that. So I'm trying to go to school and be a better person. That's who I am right now.
That's who you are right now.
Yeah.
So, okay, before we go into who the hell you were, let's just keep it on going on who you are now.
All right.
Which I guess it kind of goes into the who you were. What really made you decide that you wanted to be a game designer?
Well, when I started playing Halo is whenever I, got into the whole competitive gaming field and whatnot. But I mean, I have to say, the game that really inspired me to become, a gamer and, get into the culture and, decide that is what I want to do with my life was, Final Fantasy IX. It's one of the best games, I think, out there. And, it just has this really compelling love story that, just is intense in the best sort of way for me. In the fact that, the guy's, going after the girl, but, she does not give a shit for him, for the entirety of the story and stuff, but he just keeps going. He doesn't give a shit, They're in this together and shit, He's patient. And, that's the kind I like. I don't like that fake, oh, we're both in love all the time, immediately, love at first sight bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really culminate into anything until the last scene of the game. It's pretty intense. But, so that made me fall in love with, like, the story elements and everything. And then the game was just great. So, like, it just kind of always stuck with me. I played through it, like, 8 times and shit, and it's still just as fun as the first day. And, like, I don't know. Like, it changed my life and shit, and I want to do that for kids who don't really have, like, any other outlets, you know, and stuff, because that was mine. Like, if I was ever depressed about, like, my relationships and the fact that I didn't have hardly any friends, even, like, when you moved away and shit, like, I had nobody and shit, so I just played games to keep my mind off of shit, and, like, I want to make games for those kids. I want to, like, change people's lives in the most positive way I can.
That's a really awesome way to look at it. Like, that's really cool that, like, that's what made you want to do this thing, it's a fact that you were the only person that in our friend group that's doing something like this, that's into this. Like, I'm not a gamer at all, and, like, Tanner plays games and stuff. He's not really a gamer.
It's not like I play with him, so
yeah. It's so. What is it like being in a friend group where you were the only person? Like, because we're all, like, for us, it's like we're lucky. We all can automatically go into and talk about what we're interested in because we all are. And then there's you, where we kind of are interested, but I mean, it's not that it's uninteresting to us. It's just we can't have a conversation with someone.
It's not really your thing.
Yeah, we're not as knowledgeable in the area.
Well, to be honest, it sucks. It sucks a lot. I mean, sometimes it's like I have nobody to talk to about this kind of shit,
Right. Do you ever just look in the mirror and talk to yourself?
I ask myself why. Constantly. I'm just, like, with a single tear down my face and shit.
I think you should just...
Why do you throw that trash?
I think you should just, like, stare at a mirror from your left side and be like, yeah, and so, you whenever you go and put this area into the map of the game, you get this, and then you turn to your right side, and he's like, that's really cool.
What are you even talking about? Oh, man. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of intricate things about game design that I wish I could talk to people about. And the thing is, like, the other students in my class, they are the most they are, like, what you would expect from a game design class.
Yeah.
They're the most socially inept people I have ever met. Like, I can't carry on a conversation with any one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, like...
Stereotypical game nerds.
Oh, yeah, no, they're, like, just... One of them's really fat and, like, doesn't even care about, like, his shirt. Like, his shirts are always too small, so, like, a little piece of fat is just hanging out of his shirt at all times. It's perpetual. It's crazy. So, I mean, he's kind of a nice guy, though. Like, but, I just can't get interested in talking with them about it either. So, I don't know. There's not many people like me, I guess.
Wow. All right, then. So, what is it? Just like, what do video games mean to you? Like, other than like the outlet, like artistic point of view, like. What does it mean to you? Because you're an artist, you're a musician, and you're going to become an artist whenever you... I mean, you are an artist in college,
Yeah.
Learning how to do this. So what is the artistic value to you?
Well, I mean, they mean the world to me. And, like, there's a lot to be said about, like, a 3D animator and, like, how much time and effort they put into their art and stuff. The worst game in the world could be beautiful and shit. And, like, you got to sit back and appreciate, like, how hard they worked on this, Like, yeah. I mean, to model a character alone without, like, putting in all the, like, textures and whatnot, the things that make it look like an actual person, takes hours, you know, like, just long-ass time.
Let me say here, okay, because you told me about, how that scene in Avengers, the ship, that, how many people, do you know how many people it took to make that ship?
I forget how many it took to make that ship, but I do know that it's completely modeled in animation, not one bit of that is a prop.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's just a shot of a sky before they got in there.
Yeah.
And like, they animated it piece by piece. It's thousands of pieces. Yeah, it must, like, that's why movies take so long to come out nowadays.
Yeah.
Because, like, they just put so much time and effort into it.
Yeah.
You gotta respect that.
So what I'm saying is, like, with that, you think about that hard work.
Yeah.
It's multiplied with video games. It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're just going full on that, with the cutscenes, with the gameplay, everything.
Yeah, you gotta learn coding and shit. That's another language. That's like speaking computer.
Yeah.
Basically.
Matrix words.
That's intense. It's, that's pretty daunting, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm stoked to learn it and shit. I'm kind of getting to where I understand it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, understand the applications. I can't write in it, but I can read it. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems really cool.
So it truly offends you, of course, that someone would say that it's not an art?
Of course, yeah.
I mean,
it's some of the most tireless work I've ever seen.
Yeah.
People drive themselves mad in front of a computer screen for 36 hours with no sleep, on crunch days and shit. Like, that's real shit right there. That is dedication.
Yeah, well, that's what I feel for you. Like, people would praise, like, one of the greatest pieces of art in the world because, how great it is, but also, like, if it took them so long, like, say they stayed up for 2 days, people would be like, that's so amazing! 2 days of no sleep and he's painted this. These guys are staying up even longer. Some of them might die. They're killing themselves for their art.
Yeah, well, you know what it is, games just have this stigma behind them due to, like, the old culture because, it was kind of a counterculture thing before to be a gamer and, like, into that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, women are, like, overly sexualized. It still happens, obviously. There's a game called Bayonetta where, like, the stronger you are, the less clothes you wear, and you're a hot chick, Like, it's ridiculous, and that's where most of the hate comes from, is just, like, over-sexualization of women and overcompensation of men, the Gears of War guys.
Yeah.
They are the beefiest dudes in the fucking world,
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just ridiculous, So, I don't know. Just, like, yeah, I don't know. People think that it causes expectations of themselves,
Yeah.
Like, it I don't know.
You're kind of against that whole thing with having the woman, be that way.
Oh, yeah. No, I just think it's kind of in bad taste, to be honest.
Yeah, because you want to make, from what I understand, you want to make games and stuff where you have very strong female characters.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be like the Joss Whedon of video games.
I guess. Like, I want, in every one of my games, I want any female character to be, like, a strong lead and never, like, a damsel, and that kind of thing. And, like, oh, save me, or whatever. Like, they're the ones doing the saving or whatever scenario it is. And I especially eventually want to make one where, like, the main character is a strong female lead that has no sexualization to her. Like, she could be attractive or whatever, I'm not going to make you play, like, some pimply hag or some shit, to prove a point, but, like, like, she's not going to be, like, wearing, like, hot pants or some Tomb Raider shit,
Of course. That's really awesome that you're already, like, I live by this thing where I miss the 90s because I feel like it was the time where anyone could be free and alive. Like, it was just the time where you could just be anything you wanted and it was accepted. And now we're kind of going in the reverse from that.
Yeah.
And we need people like that who want to do something different to bring that kind of life back.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying that things should be censored and everything. I just think that the other point of view should be brought out as well. There's not enough strong females out there in gaming. There's, like, I can think of a couple, and, like, I'm not saying that Lara Croft is overly sexualized, but, like, in her first game, she was.
Well, let's think about freaking Samus. It was awesome that, the first time anyone saw Samus without armor, it was a woman. That's cool as shit.
Yeah, but she was also in a bikini.
A bikini, yeah. like, why did she have to be in a bikini? She could have just been in a spacesuit with long hair and, boobs.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to show that she's in a bikini.
Yeah, I guess it's a little better now because you got, like, the Zero suit and everything, but even that's, like, super skin tight and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a step up, but it's not amazing.
Yeah. Does it come from the fact that you were in a relationship with someone who considers themselves a feminist?
No, I had that idea before I got with her.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I I noticed it at some point in my life, and I just thought, hell, why not? Even if I don't make a lot of money off of it, at least it's there.
Does being in the relationship with her, did it elevate it even more?
It just kind of strengthened it because she appreciates the fact that I want to do that, but it just, I don't know. I don't make any decisions based on anybody but myself because at the end of the day, you're trying to help yourself. Although I do care about her, like beyond my own life,
Yeah.
But like professional decisions, I think should be left up to yourself. Otherwise, what are you doing it for?
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
Like you got to enjoy what you're doing,
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wouldn't do this and enjoy them at all. Like
Exactly.
All right. So, what was it like for you growing up? I mean, I was there a lot, but we still didn't even know. It took you a long time to figure out that there was problems in my household.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like growing up for you?
I don't know. Like, I just, my parents gave me everything they could,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they were divorced, and we spent half the time at one house, half the time at the other. It was an even split. It wasn't like any, once-a-month bullshit. So, they both pretty much full-time had kids and were single parents. So, I mean, they gave us what they could, we weren't, I mean, they were also working off of, city money, too. Like, I mean, my mom's a nurse. She made some pretty good money, or she still does, for a single person without kids.
Yeah.
And my dad's a fireman, and they hardly make jack shit, really. So, he really had to struggle to get by and shit. So they gave me everything they could. And, I had every game system and shit, so I never complained about anything. I got what I wanted. That was it, They didn't spoil me, though. And that's great. And they taught me everything I need to know. They're just kind of socially inept themselves,
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of my mom's incredibly cold and distant and stuff, and she's
a nurse. She has to.
Yeah, I mean, she's just
death.
kind of turned off that part of her brain that shows compassion because you kind of have to.
Yeah,
you
course.
You deal with death every fucking day. You just gotta shut yourself off, and she just, I don't know, anytime I talk about anything interesting, I never get anything more than oh, cool,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad, I don't know, he went through some changes at some point in his life. He was a lifeguard for the mentally handicapped. Then he was a motocross racer. Then he was in the Navy, a rescue swimmer in the Navy. Then he was on road motocross, and then he fucking was a fireman. And throughout
he was also
that whole
a boxer
time,
in the Navy.
He was a boxer in the Navy as well, yeah, thank you. And throughout that whole time, he was just maintaining being a completely active person. And almost the fucking day he retires from being a fireman, his body just fucking collapses. And, doctors are still baffled on how, he's not in a wheelchair right now, and he's just crippled as fuck, and he can't do anything anymore. The moment he quits the job that he loved so dearly, it kind of drove him a little crazy, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really saddening whenever I think about it too much, and he's just not the same person he used to be. He used to be like Superman to me, and now I have to take care of him, and, he thinks the world hates him because fate hates him, so everybody else must too. So, I get flack from all that because I'm the only person still around, it seems like. So, it hurts, being, in somebody's corner, but sometimes it just seems like they hate you. But you understand what's wrong, but it just, in the moment, it really hurts.
To get out of that, do you go back to those memories?
I do. But I don't know. I'm just... All this has made me really cold myself. And whenever I go back to, like, shit like that, it just doesn't really help much. Sometimes it even hurts more. So I just don't. I try not to think about it too much, and I just try and move forward with my life. You know, and if I make any amount of money, I'm gonna help them as much as I can. But going back to gaming, I kind of, learned how to be sociable through storylines in gaming.
Yeah.
Because if I just took what my parents gave me, I'd be a lot worse off than I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're really cold people.
Yeah.
But they're good people.
Yeah. Of course.
At the end of the day, they still give me more than I deserve.
Yeah.
So
through all the problems, there's always light shining.
Yeah.
Of course. That's awesome, man. I mean, I'm really glad you were able to open up like that. It's a hard thing to do, and it's really cool that you can still look at it as the fact of, like, yes, this is how they are, but I still love them. Like, there's good people.
Oh yeah.
There's always good in this coldness.
Well, like, if there's one thing that they've taught me, it's to be forgiving and, like, understand that at the core, good people are good people. And you can't take that away from them, no matter what they do, unless, it's all bad, Like,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, obviously, there's good in them. They help me all the time. We just don't get along on a personal level, really.
Mm-hmm. Something I really enjoy talking about is, especially now, and I haven't talked to you much about it. I mean, I have, because I tell you everything, but I'd like to talk to you about it more on here. Is, I'm thinking about, along with this podcasting stuff, diving more into comedy. Like, maybe developing a stand-up routine, and, of course, doing more skits for the YouTube.
That'd be tight.
It's something I want to do, and I always have... I need to get people's opinion, not on, like, if I should do this or not, because I don't care. I'm going to do it. Like, one of the best things I've ever heard from...
That's what you need to do.
Well, one of the best things I've ever heard from one of my biggest inspirations, this guy Moshe Katcher, is people, come up to him, and they say, what do I do to become a comedian? And I say, just don't become a comedian. And either they walk away or they say, no, fuck that, I want to be a comedian. And then I give them the advice, because they have that drive. Because it's going to be a hard road. And I understand that, and it's something I want to do. And, I'm developing my own style of it and stuff. But I don't know, what do you think of styles of comedy? What do you think? What is comedy to you? Is everything okay?
What do you mean? Like,
let's
getting
go to,
really racy or whatnot?
Let's go to the Madden Trey quote, either it's all okay or none of it's okay.
I completely agree with that.
You do?
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you have to start censoring one thing, then, I mean, like, you're just gonna fucking, like, be nice to one group of people? No, fuck that. Like, you're either mean to every group of people, or you're mean to nobody.
Yeah.
And you're a completely clean comedian. You can't pick and choose on matters of, like, things that'll piss somebody off,
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta deal with it and roll with the punches.
Yeah, well...
Or just don't do it at all.
The way I look at it is, if you're a person who doesn't support that, you don't have to go off and, hate on them or whatever. Just don't listen. Just block them out of your mind.
Yeah,
that person doesn't exist. Okay? Comedians like Jim Norton, they don't exist. These racy comedians. Just say that to yourself. Just say they don't exist.
Yeah.
To me, they do, because I love it. I mean, I don't agree. I don't agree with things that Anthony Jeselnik and Daniel Tosh say.
Yeah.
But I just don't laugh at those ones, and I'm like, well, he's going to get to something I'm going to find funny.
Yeah.
And, and I
Jeselnik's got some funny things.
Oh, dude, Jeselnik's amazing. Yeah, and I love...
Hilarious.
Like, I used to really not like him, because I used to think like that.
Yeah.
Before I was thinking about going into a comedy career, I was like, no, I don't like that person because they say this and stuff. And it was...
it's just this generation's mindset, man.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's offended by everything now.
Yeah. And, it wasn't until I heard...
it's disappointing.
Jim Norton, that thing that I showed you... anyone listening should look up Jim Norton on Totally Biased with W. Kamau Bell. He does a debate with a feminist woman. about, comedy and stuff. And
they both make great points.
Yeah, they do. They both make great points.
I mean, you can look at it from either point of view, and you'll feel like either side won.
Yeah.
To be honest.
That is very true.
It's just a good discussion.
And he's friends with that girl, too, after all that.
Yeah. It's just a good discussion.
Yeah.
And, nobody gets offensive to anybody else.
But I will say, if I had to choose a side, it would be Jimmy's.
I would too.
Yeah, I mean, because that's just the way it is to me. I don't like that.
But it's not like I think that feminist is stupid either.
No, not at all.
I see where she's coming from.
I love feminism. I think it's one of the greatest things in the world if you do it I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the right way because I'm a man. I can't say it. But, just don't be a bitch about it. It's the same thing. You don't want someone to be... Okay, you don't want someone to be...
You just told a feminist to not be a bitch.
Yeah. Fuck that. All right, you don't want... All right, okay, there's a lot of feminists who are atheists probably, and they're like, I don't want someone coming up and preaching to me with their radical bullshit. Same thing.
Yeah.
Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
It's just how it works, and a lot of people don't think of it that way. And I know I'm not going to change a lot of people's minds, but that's just how I feel.
The thing is I feel like comedy should be negated because, from, issues or whatever. Because, none of it's serious. It's all in fun, It's all jesting towards those people,
Yeah.
What needs to be stopped, I do think that there's not enough racial equality in this world. I do think that there's not enough sexual equality in this world. I do believe that, things aren't right yet. I'm not going to say that racism is dead or anything.
No, it's not.
Not at all. And, fucking homophobia is alive and well and fucking all that shit. Transgenders are, the least accepted,
Yeah.
So, the hate needs to be gotten rid of, but jokes... Those are different,
They take away that pain.
Yeah.
That pain of the hate.
They should.
They truly should. That's the way I see it, It's just... If you were truly hurting about something, I feel like if you go and watch someone make a joke about those things, it just fully takes it away.
Yeah, I think so. Why do people... Why do people talk about things after... terrible things after they've happened, It's empowerment,
Yeah.
A good comedian, that's all he's trying to do is empower the person that they're talking about, try and get them to laugh at it so that they can move on with their lives. I don't know.
Yeah.
They may not have that deep of an agenda, but that's what happens if it's done right. I don't know.
What is your favorite type of comedy?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Because I like it all.
Let me think on that. Yeah, I like it all, too. It's just...
I guess if I had to choose one, I would say probably dry.
My favorite kind of comedian, I don't really know what style he does, because I'm not that into the culture, but, God, who is that guy who does that old man skit with Nick Kroll?
What do you mean?
Where they play, old Jewish men? Oh, hello. I don't know.
I have no idea what I thought you were going to say Pete Holmes was your favorite.
Yeah, Pete Holmes is, I think my second favorite next to this guy. I'll have to look him up real quick.
Yeah, go for that.
I'll look him up and you keep going.
Yeah,
I'll bring him up.
I would say my favorite type of comedians, I like the term alternative comedy. I really do, because any person that is considered an alternative comedian is usually people who will play anything. They're like a hardcore band, they'll play anywhere. TJ Miller, he'll do bookshops for no fucking reason. And I think that's cool. And those comedians are usually who I find the funniest, because they're just real. They don't give a fuck. They all have developed their style to a perfection. Yeah. Mark Maron's, of course, probably my favorite of all time now, because that's kind of what I'm into, is connecting with the audience, telling a story. I usually start off the things with I said I was going to start them off with the weekly update and stuff on the Andrew episode, and I did one there. And I did one for Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't do one here, just because I really wanted to get to us talking. But, I like telling funny stories and things that have happened to me. I can make them funny, I can look at a bad thing that happened and just turn it into a good thing.
Hell yeah. John Mulaney.
John Mulaney. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's funny.
That's who you're into?
Yeah. He's got a really good sense of humor. He has a joke about how, he was in a subway station, and like he was following this girl down the hallway and stuff, and like I don't know, like he thought that like she started running because she heard the train, so he started running too. But it turns out she was running because she thought he was chasing her.
Oh my god.
And he was like, I just wanted to grab her and say, I'm not gonna rape you. But he felt like that would be in bad taste, so he just stopped. That's my favorite kind of comedy. The kind of guys who are like...
Sorry guys, we had a little problem. It stopped recording for some reason.
Now we gotta talk about shit we already talked about.
Yeah, but it's not too much, and so sorry if it feels forced any bit, but I mean, these are things that I want to cover, so we just gotta pick it up where we left off, which was, yeah, you know, that was the kind of that comedian, John Mulaney, right? Mulaney. John Mulaney is the person that he really enjoys, you know, like, that's the kind of style he likes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just funny because, like, I don't know, he talks about being powerless and shit like that, and I don't know, it's just kind of funny the way he deals with his life and shit. I don't know, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Like, see, I like a lot of comedy that's just real dry and stuff. I love British comedies more than a lot of people that I know do.
I really enjoy them too. There's a lot, like, if it's really good, it's really damn good.
Yeah.
I don't get why, like, they only go, like, 2 seasons. Like, that is, like, the deadline.
That they're just, you know, they
enjoy new content, I get it.
Yeah, well, they also just fit so much in there, you know?
It's true.
They have brilliant writers where they, like, just fit, like, Being Human, the U.S. series, even though I do love it more, they stretched that out a lot from what the first season of the U.K. was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but, like, I just love those British comedies because they're so dry and... they're so different, you know. And I mean, maybe that's the usual for. I mean, I guess that is usual for them. And they'll, of course, have breakouts like we do. Mm-hmm. But like, I just love anything different, and I also love a lot of Canadian shows. You know, Trailer Park Boys. One of my favorite shows in the world is a show called The Yard. It's about
I don't watch Trailer Park Boys enough, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You love it though.
It's a damn good show. It's
yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, like one of my favorite shows of all time is The Yard, which I think everyone should watch. It's on Hulu. You can get free on the internet, censored and then uncensored with Hulu Plus. But like it's
that shit's like funny in like a way different way. It's just like those kids, man.
Yeah, it's what it's about is like it's a bunch of kids in a schoolyard, and they run it like a prison.
Yeah, they like you know, all these adult topics and shit. I mean, not like
I mean, there's like
adult, but
yeah,
like,
but like they cuss and stuff, but like there's still kids about it.
Like they trade lollipops for like favors and shit.
Yeah, like one of my favorite jokes in the world is from that show is where they're like, one of the kids sharted his pants, and they're like, "You didn't shit yourself, you just sharted." And he goes, "What's the difference?"
Oh yeah,
it's
like that line like continues throughout that entire show.
Yeah,
I didn't shit myself. I just sharted.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's what you think little kids who cuss would be doing or talking about and stuff. Like it's just it's a really good show, and I love comedies like that. I actually all my favorite comedies are foreign. Like none of my favorite comedies are U.S. I mean, yes, they are, but the top ones, you know.
Yeah.
The American ones, if I have a top 10, they're like the bottom 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I love it. And it's mainly different because I love something different. And it's just, it's gold. It's gold, and I think more people should give it a chance.
I think that's a good point. Good way to look at it.
You enjoy a lot of YouTube comedy. Like, you don't watch as much TV now as, like, you used to.
I don't really watch TV at all, to be honest.
And why is that? Like, what is these YouTube comedies to you? And it's also like you watch gameplay too.
I don't know. Like I watch a lot of gameplay videos because I mean, to be honest, it just kind of like going back to the whole like nobody in my friends group really plays games or anything like that. Like it just kind of makes me, in a weird way, just kind of makes me experience the game. You know, through, like, fun with friends and shit, because I don't, like, you know, none of my friends ever want to play these games with me and shit, so, like, I'm always stuck playing single player, and I I feel like the best way to play a game is with friends around and like playing with them and everything. And I can never do that. Never do that. And just sucks so bad that like I kind of use those videos as like escapism because that's something that I want to be doing.
Yeah.
Really bad. And shit, you know, and it just kind of, I don't know. I don't really get it myself, but
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, you know? I mean, like you said, like, at the beginning, we don't do this stuff enough. Like, you know,
It's my biggest passion, and I have no one to share it with.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, like, podcast is my biggest passion. I feel like I'm best friends with all the people I listen to.
Yeah.
I'm subscribed to 49 podcasts.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with all those guys.
Yeah.
And girls.
That's weird. It just, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. But I do watch a lot of, like, sketch comedy, too, and stuff, and, like, those guys, you know, I really respect that kind of comedy, you know, like, people just making up their own shit and kind of going along with it and everything, because, you know, they aren't given, like, really good writers and stuff, and, like, they have no overhead, so they have no person telling them that they can't do something or anything like that, and, like, or, like, you know, maybe this would be better. Like, it's just their material. It's just these people who decided to get a camera and do it, like, what they wrote as well. So, I mean, like, it speaks volumes about how multi-talented they are, if they can be funny, too. And, like, it's... Some of the, you know, channels I watch are amazing. Like, so funny. And, like, make me laugh by myself, which is really hard to do. I hardly ever laugh by myself.
Yeah, I mean, that is a hard thing to do, you know.
I mean, that's the sign of a really good comedy right there.
Yeah, I totally think that. You know, I'm a person who watches also, even though I watch a lot of comedy, especially now more than ever, I watch dramas. And you don't really watch any dramas. You watch Chicago Fire with your dad, which makes sense, you know, he's a firefighter.
Yeah, it's more about the firefighting aspect. Really, and I mean, you know, it's got a really compelling story too. That's a damn good show, to be honest. But no, I don't really like dramas because, you know, most of them, like, oh man, a lot of them really have a lot to do with death and stuff, and that's just, you know, something I dealt with all too really in my life. You know, I mean, it's not like it was yesterday, but I mean, it was too recently to really be comfortable with the concept and shit, so I just kind of try and stray away from it as much as I can. I don't like thinking about death and things like that too much, because I don't know. I was in a bad place earlier in my life, twice actually, and you know, I'm just trying to stay positive, and one thing to stay positive is to, like, block out, you know, the bad shit until you get over it. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's understandable. Okay, that makes it more understandable. And, you know, like, he does understand that, like, the stuff is on TV is fake.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
I don't like the concept.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you know, see, I can watch that stuff and get over it. But, like, my main reason I love it is because, like, go through so much comedy with our friends and stuff throughout the days. I just need a total escape.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just something that truly just entertains me, where, like, I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, oh, don't die. And if they die, I'm just like, oh, man, that sucks. And I cry like it's a friend, but I'm just like, all right, we got to keep on going through this like it's life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the best way to look at it, like, in real life. I mean, it's not like you need a support group for, like, fucking fantasy, you know, make-believe, but, like,
yeah,
you know, like, in real life, that's the best way to look at it and everything. You know, you got to move on and everything, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've just been so close to the threshold that, like, you know, it's just not an idea I like to visit too much, because I think about it way too deeply. Like, way too deeply.
Yeah.
And I go to places I don't like to go.
I mean, it's understandable. I mean, especially, like, whenever you get to hear... Like, if someone were to listen to this and judge you for that after listening to your full statement, like, what a fucking idiot. You know? as a person who went through things like that, I've taken handloads of pills, to try and end it all. I've fucking gone driving while on those pills.
Yeah.
And blacked out. Who knows what's happened? You've actually gone through that too, and it's a hard thing. What was it like? What were you thinking in those moments of like, oh my God, like this is about to end, or this could end at any moment because I tried.
Well, I'll just kind of go back to like what led me up to it the first time and like everything like that. Like the first time, I just kind of felt like an outcast and like like just not right with myself and kind of like a burden to everybody else instead of like, a blessing or whatever you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a lot of social problems. I still do. Like I got broken out of my shell a lot, like due to big events in my life, like Black Lantern Tour, for instance. Like those guys really helped me through a lot of shit, and like, they don't realize it that they did it because we were just hanging out. But I mean, they like, I never really had met those guys before, and they like, that band always just really got to me, like, and it was intense every time I heard them play, and like, for them to ask me to come join them and like, they genuinely wanted to be my friend and shit like that. It was more than I've ever gotten out of anything in my life. And, them just talking to me and shit and like seeming like they cared about me, like really helped a lot. And that just kind of broke me out of like, my personality, like shell, And, but before that, I had real trouble talking to anybody, and like, being a virgin is cool and all that. It's whatever, it doesn't matter. But like, I had never been in any kind of relationship or like even really gotten anywhere sort of close with a girl, and it just kind of made me feel like a freak and everything. And that on top of the fact that I didn't have really any friends besides, like, my small group and shit was going on, I just, one night I dumped out all of my pills and everything, and, these are, like, amphetamine-type pills, they're not, like, meth or anything, but, like, they're pretty hardcore.
For, like, ADHD people and stuff.
Or
ADD? Okay,
ADD. No H. I'm not hyper at all.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, they're really intense. And, what I poured out that night would have killed me. Like, it was, and I looked at them for a really long time. And I eventually just put them back in, and, like, there was no growing from that. I just felt like I was a pussy for not doing it, Like, I mean, and I still felt like a waste of space, so, like, it didn't really help too much. And then, like, about a year later, like, this girl that I had been talking to for, like, 3 years and shit, like, I was just obsessed with her because, like, I was in love with her, and she was in love with me, too, but she was a lesbian. So, like, I mean, it just...
Chasing Amy happens, people.
Chasing Amy is a real thing, except, she doesn't run and kiss you in the rain. That's not real. She's a lesbian. It's okay. Fuck that. They don't just change their sexuality. That's like if I fucking ran and kissed a guy in the rain. It's not right. No. Like, and I should have understood that. I know that now. I should have understood that, she's a lesbian. There's nothing I can fucking do. That's her life. Like, just leave her alone, but I couldn't. And she fell for me too, but like, she loved women, Yeah. Like, I mean, like, fuck, dude. Like, what are you gonna do? It's like if I fell for a dude. Like, I mean, I totally get it now. It's all in perspective.
Oh, of course.
But one day, it all kind of blew up and shit, and she, like, really let me have it and everything. And, I was already an alcoholic due to, like, other problems and shit, and I I poured out less pills. It wasn't the night after. It was, it was a couple nights after. I'd just been ruminating on it for a while.
Yeah.
I tried cutting myself or whatever because I was like, well, what does it do? Does it really make you not thinking about the pain? No, it just hurts. It just hurts to cut yourself. Don't do it. Fuck, dude. I did it, and I was like, what the fuck is the point of this shit? I just got more upset because I was like, now my arm hurts, fuck, man. Yeah. And then later on, I don't know, I poured out my pills and everything, and it was considerably less than the first time, but it still should have killed me, and I took them all this time. It was intense, and I had a moment where it was about to happen, my heart was about to stop, but it just kept pushing on. I don't know how. It was beating, boom, 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 and I could feel it in my fucking ears.
Yeah.
It was the most intense feeling I've ever had in my entire life. Everything kind of, showed itself, and then I didn't die, but I stayed up for 5 days and 6 nights straight without a wink of sleep. And the hallucinations you go through, by the end of that, wow, really put life into perspective for me. And ever since then, I've just, I know this is really depressing and everything, but I went positive from there. I took that and made it a positive thing. Mm-hmm. I appreciate life to the fullest extent now. I would never go back there again. It doesn't matter what happens to me. You don't know what's on the other side.
Yeah.
There's no reason to hurry that up.
Yeah, once you get that taste of oh my god, I'm possibly going to die, the midway, you always regret it.
Oh, of course.
Even if
I've never been more terrified.
Even if it's a fast thing hanging yourself, that second, it's like you see in the movies whenever they're oh, I regret this kind of because they're grabbing the rope.
Yeah.
It's just, you always regret it, and if you could tell someone something other than the obvious, it's not worth it and you'll regret it, is there anything else you could say to someone who's there right now thinking?
Well, what matters about life is not what you do, or not what your friends think of you or what other people think of you. What your friends think about you is important, my bad. What other people think of you, it doesn't fucking matter. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to give a shit about what anybody else thinks. You just worry about yourself and try and move forward in your life in the most positive way you can. There's got to be something that you want to do, no matter how sad you are. And just find something and go there. I don't know, change your life. There's obviously something that's not right. Change yourself. Don't kill yourself. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel the negative part of me died that night. I've never felt more ready to tackle life. I don't get negative anymore. I don't feel like I can't do it. I feel like I can do it as long as I try. I feel like I can be successful in life. And I can give back to those who have helped me along the way.
It's really awesome, man.
It's, you just gotta change,
Yeah.
There's something wrong, gotta change it.
Exactly.
Don't stop it.
Exactly. Alright, now, probably gonna be our last subject here. As a person who, got into the hardcore and punk scene and stuff and started going to local shows and whatnot, and then, showed it to you and got you involved, I truly feel like as the years have gone by, you're more into it than I am at this point in life. But you're also at the same time at kind of not caring, I guess, because that's where I'm at. I just don't know if I care or not.
Well, like, the thing is I care, absolutely, but, like, there was a point where, like, being a musician and being, like, you know, pseudo-successful, like, you know, the kind of, like, person who tours all year with, you know, no stops, is what I consider successful in the music scene, not, like, billion records and, oh, we're making money, you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, they kind of, like, you know, they can be douchebags, but, like, the way that Handguns was living their life, you know, like, that's what I wanted, you know? Like, I wanted to just be gone all the time, you know? And, I mean, that'd still be fun, but, like, that's just not my dream anymore. If that makes sense, you know? Like, I'm just not, like, as into that idea. I still want to be in bands and everything, but it's kind of taken a back seat to game design and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm more driven towards that. It's my, you know, passion now.
Yeah.
That used to be my passion. Now it's kind of a secondary passion, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still care about it to death, but, like, I haven't been going to, like, you know, the shows recently because, like, I've been trying to work hard to provide a better life for myself and for my future family, you know? Like, me and Shelby and whatnot. And whenever we move to Austin, I want to have money when we get there to be safe, you know, and I want to, you know, start my career and everything.
Yeah.
And I can't be, like, you know, just going to every show because, you know, that's what I want to do, you know. You got to make sacrifices to be to be successful, you know. But it's not to say that I don't care still. Like, I truly care. Like, I donate anytime it's, you know, saying it's having any problems. I just gave $40 of, you know, hard-earned money to go for it, you know, and I wanted to give more, but it was already pretty close to being paid off anyway, so
Yeah.
there's no real reason to.
I feel like that maybe, like, all the things you said, you know, like, it's just kind of taking a back seat. That kind of helps me understand that, like, maybe that is what it is for me. Maybe it's not that I don't care anymore, it's just that it's I care more about something else.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really moving on, it's just, you know, focusing on something else more,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like me and Panky talked about, you know, like, we could be, you know, 60, 70 years old or whatever, go to a hardcore show of a band we really love, throw our walker, and still just get down because we want to.
That'd be tight.
Yeah, you know, like, we'll always...
And moshing and shit.
Like, you know, we'll always love this stuff. But another thing, like, I don't hate the community, I hate the cliques, I hate the fact that, you know, I can't go there and have that comedy outlook that I want to have and make a joke or something like that without getting shit on by a lot of people. I'm not going to name anyone, and this happens in any scene, you know? It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's really hard to mingle, too. Like, people are just kind of set in their ways and everything, and it's really hard to make friends. I mean, especially, you know, like, I still have some social problems and everything, and it's like, you know, it's just really hard to make friends because people are really, you know, they're in their groups and shit, and, like, it's weird if you walk up, you know?
Well, dude, like...
It's like, what the hell? You know, that's not what hardcore was about. You know?
Well, that's why I yearn for us to be like the Laredo, Texas scene. That is how a scene should be.
Yeah, that was different. That was a lot more laid back, and everybody wanted to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I got approached by several people, and that was really cool.
Yeah, I
had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, I have two friends there that I consider some of the best friends I've ever made in my whole life.
Fucking George
and Ponce. Woo-hoo.
Those fucking pictures that he drew haunt my nightmares to this day.
Oh my god.
But in the best way. Oh god, I love those pictures, man.
God. Yeah, I mean, those are good people, you know, they just keep what I think hardcore is alive.
Yeah.
But we're not doing that at all. We're just too worried about if someone's being offensive or if someone's, you know, doing something that we don't like, oh, I hate that kind of music, so I don't want it here.
That's talking about normal people who go to shows, not the people who are, like, running the scene.
though.
I still feel like it's some of it there.
There's a couple names, but I don't think that they should besmirch the entire group, you know?
It does for me, because over the time of it stacking up, I just can't take it anymore. You know, I've sat there and I've deleted my Twitter app. Like, I still have my Twitter, but I deleted the app because I was like, it's just too much for me, you know? I love to go on there and say funny things or whatever, or even voice my opinion, but I'm just going to get shit on. So it's just fucking pointless to me.
I get it.
And I keep the Facebook because, you know, I will be more conservative on Facebook because I have family. And that's someone I don't want my great aunt to see me posting about my balls. Dicks. Yeah, I don't want that. But, you know,
yeah.
I don't know. People just get so offended. It's everywhere. Like, it is everywhere.
I'm so bad at fucking social media, dude. I held on to that Throwback Thursday for fucking like a month and a half.
Oh my god.
Fucking like that was just in my phone and I was like, what day is it? It's Friday? Damn it. I missed my opportunity.
You could have done Flashback Friday.
Fuck that.
People do both.
I don't know what that even means.
It's Flashback Friday, bro. Selfie Saturday, Selfie Sunday.
Fuck that, man. I thought they were all supposed to be different.
Man Crush Monday.
I like that.
Woman Crush Wednesday.
I like that.
Tuesday Booze Day.
What's that?
I don't know. Titty Tuesday. Side Boob Sunday.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
There's a bunch of them. I'm not being ridiculous. The internet's being ridiculous. I've named off... Everything I named off is a hashtag I've seen.
Those are legitimate?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I wish I made those up.
I thought you were fucking with me.
No.
That's
all
how
exist.
much I get on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like... And people are so fucking brave behind a keyboard. And then, like...
Well, yeah. Look at Tumblr.
Yeah. And then, like, we go and, you know, we're all in this place together and, like, there's these problems that aren't being talked about. I wish if someone had a problem with me, they came and talked to me about it. One of the best times I ever remember is with our good friend Edgar Ramirez. God, I hope his last name's Ramirez. But Edgar, you know, we thought there might have been a problem between each other.
It's going to be racist if he isn't.
Yeah, it might be, but he's fine. We thought there might have been a problem between me and him, and we both had the same idea of, we both saw it, made eye contact, walked up, and I was like, hey, can we talk? He's like, yeah, I wanted to talk to you. And that's how it should be done, but it's not. Instead, it's done on a keyboard. Or
behind people's backs.
Yeah. And, like, we just... it sucks. And, I mean, I'm guilty of it, you know. I've been guilty of it many times. It's just I'm trying to not be. And
I used to be, but like I said, I just don't do social media anymore.
Yeah. Well, and see, like, my problem is, like, I'm trying not to be, but I have a problem with the fact that no one else is trying not to. They're like, people have said to me, like, I see a change, you know, but then there's no change from y'all who was doing the same damn things. It's a problem to me.
Yeah, well.
And I feel I could be in you know, the San Antonio scene. I could be in the Antarctica scene. I could be anywhere.
There's a scene in Antarctica?
Maybe, I don't know.
Shut your mouth.
I don't know.
I'm not.
But, you know, I could
People don't live there.
Penguin scene.
Okay. That'd be funny.
Yeah, just like...
Penguins punching each other?
You can be anywhere, you know? Scotland, fucking Japan. Those problems are going to come up. I just don't know if I want to deal with them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, just kind of put up or shut up or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Like, I enjoy the music scene a lot, you know? Like, if you can just go and enjoy yourself and not think about things, I mean, it's great, dude.
That's the problem. When I'm there, I'm so happy. But then as I'm leaving, I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just...
Whatever.
Everything hits, dude.
But yeah, I mean, you know, and going back to, like, you know, it's a secondary love, but it's, you know, it's a major love, you know. It's like, I plan on, like, if I ever start making games for myself, like, start my own company or whatever, like, which is easier than it sounds, to be honest. Like, you can just, make a game and, like, put whatever company logo you want and say that's my fucking company,
Yeah.
I mean, register for trademarks and whatnot, but logistics, anyways. Like, if I ever go into that shit, then I would like to call on, underground bands to be my soundtrack, Like, I planned on, like, making a game that was, like, completely music-based, and, like, music is the main focus to, like, how the feel goes, Like, I planned on getting a bunch of artists that play different genres of music to all, like, I can just say, like, this is what happened to the character for this song, this is what happened to the character most recently for this song, and whatever. Just, tell them to write songs based off of that so that, I could, like, have a genre select before the game even starts.
Yeah.
Like, country or whatever, like, or pop punk or fucking, rap. I don't fucking care, just, like...
Whatever fits the scene, and
just
it'll
really,
be something that not many people know of.
Just really, like, ambiguous, like, game that can have any kind of soundtrack, and, like, it all fits.
Yeah.
And, like, I planned on calling on bands like, I don't know, like Ivy League or something, and being like, hey, why don't you come record some songs for me,
Yeah.
And, like, promoting the shit out of their stuff, like, having, like, an area where all the artist informations were, like, right in the menu or something.
Yeah.
Where you can go download their shit.
That's a really cool idea, man.
So I want to support
it's something different.
I want to support it,
Yeah.
And, I plan on calling the company HXC Games, as kind of an homage to the scene, and also because it's for hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, see, yeah, you got it all figured out of what you want to do. That's fucking amazing, man. And, like, thanks for, like, telling me about, like, how you feel about, like, the scene and stuff, because it helps me get a better perspective on it, It's trying to find myself where I'm at in life, and that's a huge part of my life, so I need to know where I'm going with it.
It's tough, man, but I feel like you're getting it figured out yourself.
Well, that means a lot.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I guess we're probably going to wrap up here soon. Do you have any plugs?
No.
Nothing.
No? What am I doing right now?
Anything you like, man.
I have a new band coming out.
We can't talk about that yet.
I'm not talking about it. I'm just saying I'm going to be playing music again soon.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun time.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun.
But, yeah, so, well, then that's gonna be it for us. That was Philip Luke McDaniel. You want to tell everyone bye?
Bye. Oh, check out Crackpipe. They're a good band.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and plug. Let me see. Let me plug Crackpipe again. Please, actually, really do listen to that band. You can find them on Facebook and stuff. They're an awesome Lubbock, Texas band. Pine Box, 510 South Big Spring Street in Midland. If you're in the area, check it out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Plug all local music scenes. If you're into any kind of music, you can find something where they're playing that music, whether it be dubstep, metal, whatever, And hopefully, if they're a venue like the Pine Box, they play it all. That's one of the coolest things. So yeah, do that. Listen to the Geekers Podcast, the original one, please. Geekers Podcast at iTunes. And then this one is, of course, please spread this out as much as you can. Who the hell are you? With Dustin Cernoch. It's on the Geekers Network, which we're going to be building the website soon. We're going to have it all going. Going to be having better recording equipment soon.
Try and get some skits in there.
Yeah, we're going to get some skits on the YouTube. We're going to, like I said, we're going to keep the content flowing, hopefully. And we're going to, we have some other podcasts that are coming to the network soon. So we'll be plugging those soon, and they're going to be by really funny people, and I'm not in them, So you should just check them out because they're some of my best friends.
So if you find his ass annoying, try something else.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't like me, then do something else. I'm kicking something.
It's kind of the message of tonight. If you don't like something, just do something else.
Yeah, just do something else.
Fuck Dustin.
Yeah. Fuck me, please.